Hello. Okay, I'm just getting set up here. We'll get onto YouTube so I know everything is working, and then we will head straight into it because honestly, I don't have a lot of time. I just realized it's almost 2 o'clock. So yeah, sweet. There I am. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so it's 2 o'clock. Well, 20 to 2. Kiddos are out around 5. So let's get straight into it. So today we are working on wrapping up the canvas pencil pouch from Noodlehead, and I'm also working on, I think they're called, the continuous coffee sleeve, which is a free pattern from Oklaroots, and it makes an adorable coffee sleeve. I finished off some of the prototypes the other day, and they are super cute. So it's actually reversible as well. Out, and then you can just put it around your actual coffee cup. I just realized the lighting right there is horrendous. So let me see if I can just get my ring light plugged in here and working. One moment. It's a little bit persnickety because my kids have beaten it up, but we'll try and see, because you know it's not going to make it worse, that's for sure. There we go. Okay, so now at least when I hold stuff up to the camera you can see it. Alright, yeah, so there you can actually see the cup cozy now. So yeah, so I'll go through and I'll actually trim down the threads later on, but right now what we're focusing on is actually just getting everything sewn and such. So today is November 17th, 2023. I have a show tomorrow, November 18th, and actually 19th as well. It's a Saturday, Sunday show. And it's in Cochrane. I don't know what else to tell you. It's the Cochrane Made Here Festival, I guess. I think that's the last name. Anyway, it's Cochrane Made Here. It's at the Cochrane Lions Center, which is, if you're familiar with Cochrane, is where the old pool was. Or if you're not super familiar with Cochrane, it is right across from Starbucks. That's like in the Shoppers Drug Mart parking lot and all of that. Those are the two easiest directions for you. Anything that doesn't sell there that's new will be posted into the online shop within the next week or so, because I want to get everything new up for you for the Black Friday extravaganza. It's not a super big extravaganza. It's a small extravaganza. This year, so every year I run the Feed the Kiddies sale. That will apply for this year as well. What the Feed the Kiddies sale is every cat item that I sell, I will donate a can of wet cat food to the local Humane Society, which in this case is Cochrane Humane Society. And then this year, there will be a sale. I still haven't decided exactly on the discount, but newsletter subscribers will get first access to it, so that will be the easiest way to find out about the discount, mostly because I can automate the newsletter and send it out while I'm still in bed. And words are not my friend right now, apparently. There's that happening. Oh, and then we will also be donating a portion of revenue from all sales to Doctors Without Borders. It unfortunately won't be a lot, probably, but it will be something. Well, it all depends on how many sales we get that weekend, I guess. So, and it will be a portion of, I guess not revenue, but the profit, obviously, because I still need to cover all my expenses. But basically probably what I'll do is I will match what it would cost me to buy a can of cat food. Yeah, there we go. So the donation will be the dollar amount that I will be spending on the Humane Society, but on every single purchase that is made this weekend. Obviously this will not necessarily go directly to, well, it's going to be going to a lot of different places that need a lot of different support right now. I know donations across the board are diminished, which makes sense given the current financial climate. So every little bit will help. So if you're seeing this a little bit later, the Black Friday sale will run next Friday, which is November 24th, and that will actually run the whole weekend. I'm going to be doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It'll be the same sale the whole weekend. It doesn't change. I don't have the mental capacity to be changing my sales up for 4 days. But yeah, it'll still be a good deal for you guys, hopefully. I have to admit that I am being driven well, okay, here's the thing. I am shopping the pre-Black Friday sales, because why not? I may as well be getting my Christmas presents done. But I am getting really annoyed about everyone being like, it's Black Friday, and I'm like, no, Black Friday's next weekend. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend. Okay, I do have to say, getting off the topic of that, I'm really enjoying these coffee cup cozies because they are such a quick and easy sew. It's like, I don't know why, but the canvas pencil pouches, I love them and adore them, but they take so long. Like, I know I am making them in quantity, but it's like, I'm still not done yet. I still have to do all the closing seams. But I'm just like, what? How? When did that happen? Oh yeah, and after this, extra stock will also be taken. So some of this extra stock will be taken to Market Spot in Market Mall. And then some will be obviously online too. So whatever I don't take to Market Mall will be what's posted online in the next week, which actually is a good reminder that I need to get some updating sent off to Market Mall as well. Coffee cup cozies will not be there. There will not be a high enough margin to do wholesale on these, I don't think. We'll see how this weekend goes, and then I'll make a full decision from there. Given that they're a brand new product, I don't know how they're going to do. But I'm trying to make sure that I've got a few things that are like everyday items, since this isn't a specific Knit City or like knitting event. So that's why I've been focusing on like the pencil pouches, both the elastic ones that go on the planners, as well as the canvas pouches. I finished off a bunch of bookmarks, which I figure are an excellent way to do stocking stuffers and helping Santa, if that's what you do in your family. There. So, yeah, I am excited to see who comes out to this event. It'll be interesting to see, because I haven't done an event in Cochrane for years, actually. I think my last event in Cochrane was probably 2015. Down at the Spray Lakes Sawmill Family Center, so you know, it's a few years. Now these do fit standard, like medium-sized cups, I think, or 16-ounce cups. I guess I need some of those on so you know what size they actually fit. So, oh no, I will have to go get some coffee to drink. The only problem with that is that I need to go get it this afternoon, so I'll go get it once I have picked up the kiddos. Go get decaf coffee, I guess. And it is actually so nice here right now that it is mid-November and I have the window open, but it's like 9 degrees, which compared to the like sudden drop into winter that we had last year, it's like insane. Alright, so basically what happens is we make two little like funnels almost, I guess is the best description, and then we sew them together. I really like the fact that these are reversible, and basically I just was able to put a bunch of like prints together. It does make it a lot easier on like what you actually need for fabric. And since I have to finish off my this is what's happening. Apparently it might be time to invest in a new ring light. It's like, why did it shut off? There we go. Not that's a big deal right now, but like when I'm showing product up to the actual camera, you want to be able to see it with the light. It's also holding my phone, which is always good. So, alright, well, yeah, that ring light has seen better days. We are going to have a little bit different setup tomorrow because I will have a tent actually. Because the one thing about the Cochrane Lion Center is that the lights in there are not good. It's actually horrendous lighting in there. But what one of the organizers suggested was to bring a tent in and actually light the tent. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm debating whether I'm going to bring in a couple little Christmas trees for some decoration and put like battery operated lights on them or not. I did actually find some USB operated lights for the actual tent, which is good. So it'll be nice and bright, hopefully. If it's not like I can't fix that tomorrow night, which is the awesome thing about being like close. Although actually when I was in Vancouver, we swapped out the bulbs on my lights that were in my actual booth, which was a good idea. I'd been debating it for a while. I'm just kind of like hadn't done it yet, but then Dallas was like, no, you should actually swap the bulb. So I was like, okay, I'm going to DoorDash them to the hotel. He was like, I'm pretty sure this DoorDasher was like super confused why we were receiving like light bulbs at the hotel. And I'm like, yeah, probably, but you know, whatever. Anyway, it's just because like timing wasn't going to work for me to like, I was not guaranteed that I was going to be able to go pick up bulbs. So it was just easier to get them DoorDashed and then Dallas could like receive them since he was back at the hotel while I went to the keynote lecture instead. So that's, yeah, we're out of bobbin thread. All right. Like that sounds like we are out of thread, and we are. So I will not be, I was like, yay, I'm going to be done like sewing after this weekend, but I just realized I will not actually be, because my first show for 2024 is actually in January. I'm going to be at Creekside? Oh my goodness. It's put on by Polka Dot Creek in Airdrie. It's Creekside Yarn Festival. Yeah, that's right. Down at the Town and Country Center. It's January 21st, 2024. So I've got a bunch of bags actually cut, and I will be restocking on the small box bags before that event. But I got to do a lot of that work now because it is literally a week, like 8 days after we get back from Disney. So I probably won't be doing much work that week. So I got to get my prep mostly done this week. There's also a couple new things that I want to make in advance of that. Some things for like people actually at shows. I had a brainwave about a small like cell phone bag that would be super cute. And more love for our cross stitch and embroidery folks as well. I have a prototype coming up for a custom order that we're going to try out, and we'll see if that can be translated into production as well, which I think it should be able to. It's super cute, and I'm excited to try it out. So, alright, and then I do have some pick your own orders to finish as well, but production will be tapering off a little bit over December. I think right now what I'll try to do is I'll try to be on stream at least every couple of weeks on Fridays, and maybe some other day. December is going to be a lot of basically next week I have my massive like simulation weekend for Dopey Challenge. If you haven't heard what I'm doing, I am running the Dopey Challenge at Walt Disney World in January. What is the Dopey Challenge? It is a Dopey run. So it's 48.6 miles in 4 days. So we do a 5, a 10, a half, and a full marathon over 4 days. You have to be dopey to do it. That's my running joke on it. And I've been training for this all summer, basically. Next week, I have the simulation weekend. So this is a little bit accelerated versus what the program actually wants you to do. But the thing about it is that I started it accelerated because I was like, basically I matched it up with a 10K weekend, and I want to run it while Dallas is at home so he can like spot me off with the kids. Basically, he will be on childcare while I run this crazy weekend. For the like simulation weekend at least. We have babysitters at Disney World, so thank goodness. Can you imagine what an actual like stroller run at Disney would look like? It would be like, I don't think they would be able to do it. It wouldn't be safe. Anyway. So yeah, so basically that's gonna happen, and then I'm gonna taper off my running actually. And why I moved it up a week. So I'm technically on this schedule, even the accelerated one, I'm supposed to do this run in like mid-December or something like that. But I was like, okay, we're already accelerated with the because I started basically on a 10K weekend, but then on top of it, and I did that because in case the kids got sick during the fall, then I'd have space to be able to be sick, basically, which is good because I was sick a couple weeks ago. But oh my goodness. Oh, I'm going to taper off, and I'm going to be doing a lot more spin and yoga because I need to gain more body strength. So we're almost at the end of the endurance run. The simulation weekend has a 45-minute run, which is about 5K for me, 3 miles. And then just under a 10K, I think it's like 5 miles. Then it wants you to do 12 miles, which is nearly a half marathon. And then it wants you to do nearly a marathon. So the last mileage I just did was 23 miles, and then the mileage for this is 26 miles. Full marathon being 26.2. So probably works out to something like 41 kilometers or something like that out of the 42.2 kilometers that you need for an actual full marathon. Anyway, so we're going to do that, and then in December I'm going to focus very much on like spin and yoga to gain some like, it gives me a full month basically right before we go down to kind of get my body better conditioned in general, because now basically what the simulation weekends are doing and this like endurance training is endurance. There's no way I would normally run 26 miles otherwise. Even now I'm like, why am I running 26 miles? But I need some body strength, so I need some like upper body strength, and I need some like different muscle strength as well. So that's the focus that I'm going to do in December. I'm still going to be running, but I'm going to do a lot more cross training for the month as well. Which also means that honestly I'll probably end up being able to sew a little bit more, mostly because like my runs are going to be so much shorter. Like none of them really are going to break about, well, I guess the 7 miles will be just under 2 hours. So most of my runs won't break about an hour and a half anymore. Go. Sorry, the needle just need to be rethreaded. I need my little seam roller here. So now we've got all of these like cylinder funnels made. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up the seam here. Should I press it? Probably. Will I? No. If you've been following along for a while, it's not that I dislike my iron. It's set up in the other room, and it's a pain to like go over and take these all over and take you over. And could I set it up on the desk behind me? No. I have my serger there right now, and I don't even know how it's fitting there. Okay. I hope you're new here. Otherwise, this is going to be a repetitive story, because right now I don't really have anything new to talk about besides the running. Like, legitimately, I am running and I am sewing and I am looking after kids. That's the excitement right now. Which is fine. I'm not complaining about it. It's just I don't have much to talk about then outside of that. But in the saga of we are currently moving the studio around again, I need to tidy up the desk behind me. But the thing about it is that if I'm taking time to tidy, I am not taking time to work. And right now I need to be working. And realistically, even after this, like I said, I need to be working anyway. I just remembered okay. So you smush the two funnels together. Jess of Oklaroots actually has this is her pattern. She has a really good tutorial for this, so I would highly recommend that you go watch her tutorial. It's the continuous coffee cup cozy. I'm just using batting. I actually just pressed it with my iron to get it to like kind of adhere and smush into the fibers, because of course it's polyester, so it's going to actually smush in a little bit when you add heat and steam. But what I do as a hack for myself, instead of having to like worry about seams and stuff, is that I'll fold it so that the fleece is to the inside, the batting, and then I will sew along the edge of the actual batting so that it gets held in place, because it is not fusible. Would this be easier with fusible? Yes. I did not want to get fusible because I already had batting in my studio, so we're just working with what we have, which is also extremely important. Anyway, there's that, and then what we're going to do, it will get tacked down in this next step. So I do the smaller end of the funnel because I find it easier to manipulate and get the like the top stitching done around the top without it being having to be such a like the what was I going to say? It's still a structural seam because it's still holding it together. I don't know where I'm going with that though. Anyway, adore it. It's cute. This is going to be a polar bear and panda mix. Yeah, and then we'll go around and we'll top stitch it afterwards actually. So let's just actually get the rest of these sorted out and put together like that. I am actually not even going to open the seams because I don't feel like that, well, no, it cuts down on the bulk. Yeah. If I really want to, I could also like kind of shimmy the batting into the seam and then stitch it down in the actual, like, and stitch down this seam as well. But I'm not going to do that. Because once you top stitch it, like, in the next step, for the finishing, you're not going to, like, it's not going to move anywhere. Now, these will be 100% machine washable, which for, like, a coffee cup cozy is very important because if you're using it regularly, they get dirty. It's also a scrap buster project, which means I am actually using up scraps. I have noticed an actual dent in my scraps this like in the last, actually this week. Now, that is not to say that I am not still drowning in scraps, because I 100% am. But it does mean that I have noticed a dent in, or a reduction in the number of scraps that I am actually holding in my room. I need to actually go, that's part of what I need to do in this next tidy, is I need to go through and actually like do a whole scrap bust and actually just crank out a bunch of the products that get made from those scraps. Because it's stuff like needle stashers and like smaller notions pouches and all of that good stuff. So these have been really good though, because they take up like, there are only so many needle stashers you can make. And like certain cuts of fabric will make up to 4 needle stashers. Do we need 4 needle stashers in a matching fabric? Not usually. So these have been really good in cutting down on that sort of thing. The other thing is that I am doubling up on these, because it's like now you've got the red one as like the main color, and then the interior is black, and yes, it's reversible, but I also have a black one so that you can like, yeah, and I don't know, I think it's clever. I do like the fact that they're reversible, because that does mean that like, even if, oh, I just remembered I was supposed to roll that seam. We are going to be rebels and not roll the seams today. We're gonna go wild, whatever. Maybe that's what I need to do, is like do more clickbaity titles for these, like sewers gone wild. I'm not seam rolling the thing, even though it's recommended I seam roll it. I am nearly at 350 subscribers. Actually, I'm a 1 away. I've got 349 right now, and like when I started working on building my YouTube base again, since I was already working in short form video for a lot of the other platforms, I think I was around under 250. So I am extremely pleased at my growth in the last year, and very thankful for everyone who is here as well, because well, this live streaming while I'm working has actually been extremely beneficial for me, just mentally, because it's kind of hard. Like, working from home and working, especially self-employed, it's tough. Like, I know a lot of people who thrive on it. I'm not saying work from home is bad, but there are definitely different, like, difficulties in working from home than there is from working in the office. And when my conversations mostly consist of talking to toddlers, being able to kind of ramble online as well has been extremely nice. Alright, so this is the My Pleasant Company. And I didn't get Cat, everyone is on good terms, but I figured My Pleasant Company being like right smack in the center of this was pretty good. And yes, since this is scrap busting, if you have seen these fabrics before, you are like not mistaken. Very likely you've seen them before. This actually, this little doily one right here that we're gonna sew together here is one of the actual like OG fabrics. This is one of the ones I remember ordering from the Etsy seller that I was using at the time. So it's like super cool. All right. And around we go. These are the sorts of times where I'm like, man, I wish I had a cylinder sewing machine, because basically you could throw it on and it's what they sew like jean hems and stuff on, and you could just throw it on and it just goes zip around. Although honestly, that was pretty easy, so I'm not gonna worry too much. Alright, I'm just doing a rough turn right now, and then I'll finesse them a little bit more once we go to actually top stitch them. Could I be like, you know, putting them in and oh my goodness, what is the words? Could I be like partially assembling all of them like this and then sewing them? 100%. Am I? No, because that's not where my brain's working right now. Alright, there we go. As a heads up, my favorite shop in Kyoto, Noma Taylor, is actually offering international shipping of their products now, which is super awesome. And they are having, I don't know if it is like an opening sale or if it's something that will consistently be there, but go check out their Instagram because they were offering like 10% off a certain amount of order. This will not stop me from going to Japan. There are many yes, I could do it that way, but there are many benefits to me still going over and shopping myself. Mainly the fact that like I'm able to tell the weight of a fabric and if it's going to be useful to me or not. You still can't do that online, obviously. So, all right, we are growing a little army of coffee cup cozies right now, which is they're gonna be adorable. Okay, this one is a little bit more shimmy, so let's kind of shimmy. We'll just make sure that it's still even in there, which it looks like it mostly is, except for right here. There we go. I'm gonna kind of press it in with the seam. Yeah, it's a little bit like high. There we go. And we'll pop it in here. And down like that. Also, if you are looking at holiday shipping dates, I think the last one for regular post is December 10th for most locations. So more than enough time if you are ordering from the Black Friday sale, which is awesome. I really appreciate that, actually. Oh, and the other thing about the Black Friday sale is that pick your own orders will not be eligible for discount. And I will make that clear. There will be an announcement at the top of the page. Although I will open up that the donations from pick your own orders will be will be valid. So every cat item sold will donate a can of cat food, and every purchase will, whether it's pick your own or not, will also donate to Doctors Without Borders. Oh yeah. I was a little bit hesitant about putting the dogs and the owls together, but that is freaking adorable. It's like a really good color combo together because it's dusty aqua. I've had a whole discussion about how I find, so I would have called this saddened aqua earlier. Such an emo way to do it. But I was naming Dusty Rose, and I'm like, that's what color it is. It's dusty aqua. Anyway, so these dogs are like this sand on a dusty aqua. And then the owls inside are kind of like a blue-green owl, like natural colored owl on a blue-green background. They are freaking adorable. They are OG fabric from my first trip. So either the first trip or the first shopping trip to Japan when I was making project bags. All the memories are coming up right now from Dallas's last trip, and I'm like, oh man, he is actually going to have been away from Japan. So, because we're still debating about when we're going. We originally talked about like January 2025, and now we're like, well, or I actually said, I'm like, I think the fall of 25 might be better because that would be like after all my markets, which is good for revenue and paying for trips to stuff. The other thing is that I haven't even incorporated the fabric from May yet because like I haven't been able to take the time to wash and iron it because I've been so just like head down sewing all summer. So it definitely can't, like I don't want to take another late spring trip. So if we're going, it's probably going to be September or January 26th. Or well, at this point it's definitely going to be late 25, so fall, or early 26, which basically it's going to be another year. So anyway, whatever. It really, like, why am I telling you this? I don't know. That all depends on next year though too, and where my fabric is sitting by the end of next year too. So basically nothing will be figured out until, oh yeah, this has to be like this. Nothing will be figured out until next fall. No decisions will be fully made until next fall either. Anyway, I was just thinking it's like, he will have been away from Japan longer than I was actually when we went back for our first trip together. Because, so all the memories of our, his last trip are actually coming up on my Facebook right now. And that was November 2017. So it's like he is going to be out of Japan longer than I was between exchange and going back, which is insane in some ways. And I'm excited to take him back because it has changed. Not a lot, but enough to like kind of be a little bit like, oh, well, this is a new place. Tokyo has gotten remarkably easier to travel around, even between 2016, well, 2017, I guess, and the last couple of years. So they did a lot of multilingual upgrades before what was supposed to be the 2020 Olympics, and like a lot of upgrades on the JR lines and stuff around Tokyo, which is typically what we ride. We don't ride the metro a lot, although we probably will be now a little bit more because they have changed the pricing structure on the JR pass so much that it is no longer worth it for us to buy it. We'll just buy our Shinkansen tickets while we're there, because realistically, like, the JR pass was super useful when it was cheaper because we could pay it off or use it enough in a week or 2 weeks to be able to like do the Narita Express from Narita into Tokyo, and like the Shinkansen down to Osaka, Kyoto, and then back, and the next back into Narita. But now it's no longer worth it. So we'll probably end up using actually more local lines, which is kind of cool. So like Tokyo Metro and stuff like that. In some cases not. Sometimes the JR line is just the most convenient line to use. Honestly though, in that case, what I do is I base it on like Google Maps, because realistically it's going to give me the best information for what I'm supposed to be doing to get places. So. And then I think we're going to split, when we do go, I think we're going to split our time between Kyoto and Osaka. I've been seeing like a lot of people head to Japan recently. And someone was exploring Osaka, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't done a proper exploration of Osaka for a while. So I think that's going to be on the top of our list for this next trip. But I also want to stay in Kyoto while I go shopping at Nomura. And we also need to make sure that we get into the temple markets. So staying in Kyoto for that sort of stuff is going to be far easier than transiting in and out of Osaka constantly. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of just shuffle around. Spend a few nights in Osaka, spend a few nights in Kyoto, spend a few days in like Tokyo, and then yeah, it's gonna be good. I keep talking about it because I keep daydreaming about it, because right now I just kind of want to sew, bury my head, and daydream. Alright, look at this like nice little, oh, I guess you can't really see it, but we have quite a few little cup cozies getting developed here. I still haven't even decided what these are going to be priced at. I gotta figure out, so basically there's a lot of like decision making that goes into these. Part of it is how long does it actually take me to sew them. And the prep work, I add a little bit of time in, because obviously like cutting them takes time, then materials, and then like markup, because I'm not selling everything at wholesale. But I haven't taken the time to do the math yet, because I'm like, oh man, I don't know. We've shifted our sleep schedule, and it has been brutal. It's been like I've been like jet lagged for 2 weeks now. It's good though, because it's like these Run Disney runs in January, we have, like, Dallas and I have to be up between 2 and 2:30 every day. Holy. And so we've shifted the sleep schedule for a good reason, in that we want to actually have the kids go to bed early enough that we can go to bed early enough that we're not dying completely. So that's going to be the biggest challenge, I think. Well, besides running a marathon. Running a marathon isn't easy. It's going to make my 5 and 10Ks feel a lot easier, though, that's for sure. Oh, man. Alright, how many are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and we're at 40 minutes. Okay. Hopefully we can get this done today. Well, we have to get this done today. I still actually need to pack everything up into their suitcases, and then I'll need to also get I need to pack up like display stuff and things too. So this isn't the only thing we need to do today. And setup is tomorrow, so I have to be up early for that no matter what. And aforementioned sleep schedule shift anyway. Right now, all I want to do is have a nap. That would be glorious. I feel like I always say that. It's also 2:20, so having some caffeine would not go astray right now. And I did bring a drink down, which is good. Oh my goodness. Okay. This has never been a super popular print in person, but I like love it. So it's popcorn cats. It's little popcorn buddies, like kitty cats. And oh, where am I? I'm here. So like little popcorn guys in popcorn buckets. And like it's, I don't know, this one just, it's one of those prints that looks like it actually does better as a smaller item, to be honest. But I've got it so that there's blue and pink back to back. Freaking adorable. Like, look at that. He's got a popcorn bucket on his head. Alright, so that means that was the halfway point, basically. Or darn near, like, close enough, whatever. So 40 minutes. 4 minutes per so far. Caffeination, and the sun's coming around, and it is glorious. Like I said, I've got the window open because it's nice enough outside. Cat. Quinn's down here destroying paper because you know that's what a cat does. Sweet, there we go. Just realized I need to actually figure out what I'm going to do for dinner tonight because I don't know actually. Alright. It might be a takeout weekend. Doing really good about cutting takeout out of our habits a little bit, but show weekends are just kind of a write-off. This one's super cute because it's actually My Pleasant Company cats in gray and black. This is a super popular print when I was able to get it, and I still adore it. So one is cat, everyone is on good terms, and that's pretty much, it's just to the office center. This one actually has My Pleasant Company as well. And then in the black, you have the My Pleasant Company in like a green tone. These are looking so good. They're so like puffy. I love it. Did go for a massage earlier, which was really good because she worked out a lot of post-run tension. My shins were so crunchy, like so crunchy. She ran over one of the muscles or tendons or something. I don't know, but whatever she did, it like snapped, popped, crackled. It definitely was Rice Krispies. And it was just, oh, maybe not instant relief, but it definitely relieved tension in my like leg and shin, which is the point. So that was good. Still working on getting the plantar fasciitis to like chill the F out, basically. But I think the big thing that's gonna help there is being able to take some time off from these long distances. It felt a lot better after I was able to, like, even though I was sick, it actually did help it heal quite a bit, I think. So after post Disney, I have booked Calgary Marathon. I'm going to be doing the half marathon there because marathons for me are only going to be special marathons. So like I want to go run Tokyo and Osaka eventually, that sort of thing. But I'm not going to just go do a marathon in Calgary because to me that's just kind of like whatever. That's not whatever. I say that now. I might change my mind. Who knows? But for now, that is the main. Is that it's special occasions only. So yeah. So I am gonna go run the half though because I figure for Tokyo and Osaka, I still want to keep my training kind of up. We don't quite know when we're gonna run them. We might start applying for 25. I don't know. Probably not. But 26 or something like that. Who knows? We might get lucky and just get in the first time, and that would be the best way to do it. But I want to keep a proof, like a time proof, up and like updated every year, so that I have something to put in. Because it's like I'm not the slowest person, but I'm also not the fastest person. Tokyo does actually have a very generous time limit. It's a 7-hour time limit, same as Disney. So like realistically at this point, nearly, I probably could go run Tokyo, walk Tokyo, basically. Because here's the realistic truth of it is that I will probably end up walking a lot of the Dopey Challenge, just because it's like, I am not fast right now, and I do need to conserve my energy. But, yeah, I have the Calgary half booked for May, and that's going to be my proof of time basically for future races if I need it. That's something that I'll run each year. The course apparently is fairly easy, at least according to Dallas. I will not be running Fernie again because I am not doing a trail run as my next half marathon. I might do Canmore half marathon, just depending on how everything pans out next year. That's one that Dallas likes to do, but he does have to take vacation for it typically, so we'll see. But Calgary Marathon, I don't have to start training for that until February or something like that. I'll have to look at the actual training program. I don't even know what training program I'm going to do. I might actually follow the Disney program still because it's done really well for me. One of my blocks was that the running program that I was using before would be like, you gotta run, or you should run approximately this far in this time limit. And like, even at my fittest, I was a slow runner. And that's fine. It's still the same distance no matter how long it took me to get there. Do I want to get faster? 100%, because I don't want to have a marathon taking me 7 hours. If and when I run it again. But the whole, you should be running this far in this amount of time was real, like, if I didn't do it, really grated on me. And like was really not motivating at all. So I might stick with the Disney program because the Disney program actually just goes, okay, you're gonna go do these 2 time runs, which are your interval runs, and then you're going to go do your this is your distance. It doesn't give you a time or anything like that, and that has allowed me to actually not have that mental kind of cliff hanging over me. Although this, on the simulation weekend, I do need to make sure that I am 7 hours or under for the Dopey Challenge, so we'll see. I'm not there right now. I'm not going to take it as like an absolute that I won't do it day of, but it's definitely would be super disheartening to like not do it in 7 hours next week, so we'll see what happens. All I can do is try my best. Alright, we're nearly there. I am excited because these are going to be adorable, and I am creeping ever closer to having to pick up kids. more I think about it, the more I think a nap would be extremely beneficial before this weekend. Alright. What happened there? Weird. Okay. Turn these down. There we go. Nope, that got missed. Okay. That's what I thought. So we will shimmy this up just a touch and go over this again. 2 seams are better than 1. There we go. Just missed a little bit of the corner coming over the seam there. So just went in and fixed that, and then we're going to turn it out. Double check that. We're good. We're good. All right, sweet. So if you're just joining the stream, I am working on coffee cup cozies. These are the Continuous Coffee Cup Cozy Pattern by Jess of Oklaroots. She has been very beneficial to my sewing career in the last year, 2 years, year and a half. Whenever I stumbled on her last. Probably about a year and a half now. With a bunch of tips and tricks and also like tools that will typically benefit bag makers as well. So if you are a bag maker or like looking for tutorials on bag making, she is really good. Anyway, this is her pattern. It is a free pattern. It's available on her website. I just stumbled across it the other day because I was like, do you know what would be good for this show is coffee cup cozies. And lo and behold, she had this. Because I didn't want to have to like sew on buttons and do like loops and stuff like this. And the really cool part of this one is that you don't need any of that. It just slips on the cup. It doesn't fall down. You don't have to worry about any elastic like stretching out and it not working anymore. So it's just, and it's reversible, which is super cute. Now, could you make the button ones reversible and all of that? 100%, obviously. And there's lots of makers who do absolutely amazing work with that. But it just, because there's lots of makers that do absolutely amazing work with that, I just didn't want to do it. So this, I do like this one better, personally. They are still, will be all machine washable. Because like I said earlier, if you're using it with coffee, it's likely that it's going to get dirty, either from your hands or spilling coffee on it, because it's going to go on coffee cups. All of that. Little ice pop fabric on navy. I love how like chubby they are. Because they're like, I haven't stitched them down yet, so just everything is just like kind of fuzzy and like nice and soft. I kind of wish I didn't have to do top stitching to keep everything in place, because I like the look and the feel of it without the top stitching, to be honest. I am totally all for top stitching. I have nothing against top stitching. I think it looks amazing, and really it adds like a very professional look to most items, especially bags and like accessories and stuff like that. But in this case, I really do think that not having top stitching would make it look just as good, if not better. Okay. These obviously were all hand cut, so I'm just basically going in and cleaning up just a little bit of the overhang, because every single cut piece is cut by hand, so they're all slightly different, and sometimes they just need a little bit of help to make them work together. So that's what I was doing, is I was just cutting the batting down a little bit just for this particular coffee cozy. You will get to see the magnificent having to clip around the top edge to actually top stitch here in a few minutes. I'm gonna have to go grab my bin of clips. I forgot to actually bring it out of my cutting room. So that's one thing we're gonna do. I'm so blasé about this show right now though. It's like, okay, so we'll get these done and we'll get the canvas pouches done, but I'm like, I haven't even really thought about what I'm taking for display. I know that they said that there's going to be a table there, so I'm thinking everyone's calling it the viral Z or Z, because most of the people that I've seen refer to it have been American. Of course, you need coffee for your coffee cup. I don't know. I'm thinking I might do like the Z pattern. So there's a table at the front, there's a table in, and then a couple racks in the back. I haven't decided yet, and part of that is that I have to decide so I know what I'm going to pack actually. So it's also like, do I take all my stock? Probably, because what I'll do is I'll put it under the table, and then we'll have the tickle trunk as stock. Probably leave the actual trunk behind because it got packed very full in Ed City and I cannot move it myself. Yeah, and I know I want to take the handbag rack. That is like the one thing in my head that I know for sure I want to take is the handbag rack. So I'm like, I don't know what else I'm going to do because I haven't actually done this smaller booth for a while. And again, every show is different, so it's like, I don't know how to set it up yet. Oh, that's a lie. The booth I did at Omatsuri was smaller. But that was also sold as like a table space, so I'm not... Yeah, there, and I did the NJCA in April, and that was just a table. It wasn't even really a booth. So those were smaller, but like they were also sold differently too. This I know is actually a 10 by 10 like booth. It will not be bringing grid wall. I do know that. So I think just the handbag rack. And then yeah, I'll bring the little trees I was thinking about, and we'll wrap some lights around them. Just bring some light into like the corner that they'll be in. Oh, this one's so sweet. Look at that little black cat right in the middle. Yeah. Alright, got two more to do this one stitch on. And then we will get the clips from the cutting room. And then we will top stitch. Alright. Right. And on Monday I'm playing hooky and I'm going to decorate my house instead of working. Because it is the best weekend to do it. Otherwise I will not have time. And it doesn't, well, okay, with kids it takes a couple days typically. But if I do it while they're at school and childcare, then it will be done faster. Plus I kind of wanted to surprise them because it's like they'll really enjoy leaving and then coming back in, so I'll decorate for Christmas. Which just means I also need to tidy up a little bit at some point, probably this weekend and Monday. And I'll probably rebel and still come down and do some sewing. I really want to do the prototype for the embroidery bag that I'm thinking about. So that actually will be what I do Monday. I will prototype. I gotta run. I'll prototype, and then we'll decorate. I think that's a fair and evenly balanced day, hopefully. Because it's also like if I don't get all the decorating done in one day, that's fine too. So I've got it pretty much down to what we'll do. I'm definitely, the kids are super into Halloween, and they're still super into Halloween. They keep still going around going, Happy Halloween, which is so adorable and so hard to explain that we don't have Halloween for another year. And but I am, where was I going with that? I am much more of a Christmas person. I really like having the Christmas decorations up and like the light. I think the big thing is having extra light and like color. And typically I do the little like, these are probably absolutely horrendous for us, but I love the little sensicles to make it smell like pine. And like yeah, no. Christmas is definitely the one I enjoy more than Halloween. Understand why the kids enjoy Halloween though, because who wouldn't want to go around and get free candy? What? Okay. We're going to fold these like that. And like that. And then we're going to have a little bit more caffeine. And no, we are not ironing these because I don't even, like, it wouldn't, there would be no benefit to ironing them. I guess you could maybe do them on like a small sleeve hem or something like that. But like you're just, I don't know, it seems like it would wreck the circularity of it. Alright, so we could clip, or we could just, we're gonna top stitch the bottoms and then I'll go get the clips and we'll clip the tops in. What else do we have to do today? I need to do the finishing seams on the needle, or on the canvas pouches. And that's it as far as I know. Alright. Around and around we go. And then basically what we're going to do is I will trim off the ends here, and then we're going to take a lighter and just singe them off so that they're kind of like nice and just really settled in there. But like so far so good. The top, basically what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to just push down the stuff around the actual quilt batting, and that will help it like basically that just makes our seam allowance. That's what it does. Like, my goodness, I am either out of practice or my brain is just really does need that nap today. I don't know which it is. Probably a bit of both. Alright. Trimmed down. I don't even remember how many we have, but I think it's something like 24. Because here's the thing, when I commit to a production run, I commit to a production run. Is this pulling away from the canvas pencil pouches that I haven't finished yet? 100%, but they just need their finishing seams. Will the kids and I be watching, will the kids be watching TV down here while I finish up tonight after dinner? Yes. And that's fine, because realistically they have been in school all day, so they would just be watching TV upstairs anyway, so I may as well be finishing stuff down here. Actually, probably what will happen is I'll finish as much as I can right now, and then I will pack the truck while they're chilling watching TV. Or maybe I'll do that after they're in bed. Although that's usually a spell for disaster, because it's like, once they're in bed, it's like, I just want to sleep too. Which is another argument to go have a nap, so that I have energy to pack the truck tonight. I also need to call my mother-in-law and let her know what time they are going to be up at her house tomorrow. Because thank goodness for family that can help. Another excellent reason to have shows, local shows. My mother-in-law and the kids and I went to the Tullis art market yesterday, which was always really good. It's like my favorite Christmas show. And it's like the bucket list one for the business. So I think in another couple years, the kids are they're just on that edge of being a little bit too young And the hours of that show are brutal, like 10 to 9 or something like that. Now, yeah, I've done late shows like that for Stampede and things like that, but not since I've had kids. So, it's gonna be, that'll be a couple more years, but it is one that I would really love to participate in. Looking at who is vending there, there aren't a lot of purses. There's definitely nothing like mine there, so it's like something I'm aiming and working towards over the next few years. Alright. We're getting there, everyone. Slowly but surely we will get there. Insane though, because it's also like all the stuff I still have to prepare for the weekend, because it's like I am either not gonna have time or energy, like making sure I have my medication, and like the cats needed food today, and yeah, I'm just, even though it's in town, there's still stuff to like take care of as though I were not going to be in town. Stuff like making sure I have food for like lunch. Top stitching for the bottoms is going quicker than actually sewing them together, which is interesting. And this one still has misstitching, so we're gonna set it aside. It's in timeout for now, and I will fix it. Well, even if I fix it at the end here, but I just kind of want to keep cranking along with the top stitching without having to change my stitch length is the big thing. And that one is a duplicate. Is this how I end up with massive whip buckets, like works in progress buckets? 100%. But you know, that's fine. I can always finish it later. It's not gonna go anywhere. Alright. So we got 1, 2, 3. Look at that nice little fat pile. 3, 4, 5, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sweet. So we're halfway, just over halfway. All right, I'm just gonna kind of even out the layers there as much as best as I can. Normally this fabric I would top stitch in white, but honestly this black actually looks really good, so that's good. Makes it easier. Alright, just even everything out again. So this is hot pink polar bears with navy pandas, which is super cute. Again, these are all reversible, so it doesn't matter. You can use either side. Go. This one is Latte Bears. A Latte Bears. This is little bears made of latte foam. And then the back or interior is like the coffee paraphernalia print. Just because I figured that was cute together. Alright. Under the machine. Let's go. Sorry, I'm kind of going radio silent because this does take more concentration than doing just straight lines. It's like, I want to make sure that the top stitching lines up as best as possible because this is a very visible top stitching. And it just, because it's in the round on a flatbed machine, it takes different concentration than just like going straight. It's kind of like the Kato bags when I go to top stitch them because they're also round. Right. And then obviously I want to make sure that the layers are lined up as best we can so that they're not like super intrusive if you reverse it. There we go. Alright, 6 more. And then we'll go get the clips and finish them off. Go. Okay. And if you're watching right now and you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. If you're enjoying this live stream of consciousness, of course. I can keep that up once we're clipping these. So what the top stitching is doing is basically it's holding the seam and it's also holding the batting because I did not use fusible fleece in this or any adhesive actually. I was trying it out without adhesive and I'm happy and pleased with the result. So the top stitching is also holding the batting in place so that it's not shifting inside the actual cup cozy. Now when I close the top seam, it will definitely hold it in as well. But you know, 2 seams are better than 1. At least that's what I figure. And I'll kind of like bracket it in between. Go. 3 more, and then I'll go get the clips. Red pandas are adorable. Again, this is one that I would normally top stitch in like a light color, but honestly I think the black is going to be a nice contrast to both of these prints, so I'm not too worried about it. this one is like an off-white red panda, and then the interior is a navy red panda, actually. Because, you know, why not? Sweet. Last one to do. Then I will go grab the clips and we'll clip the top edge down. Okay, this one needs the batting shimmied down a little bit. There we go. Sweet. Alright, there's the last one with the bottom top stitching, so I will go grab clips and we will get the top all clipped around so that we can sew it down, and then they'll just need their threads clipped. So basically probably another 45 minutes to an hour of work. Not bad. Okay. I'm now also caffeinated. So, what we're going to do is we're going to trim up that thread apparently. First off, there we go. And that one too. Those are interior threads. So we're going to go around and we're going to fold in the we're just going to concentrate on one side. So we're going to fold in on the gray side first, and we're going to clip it as we go around. I'm actually going to stuff this down for now because then it's out of my way. It may fold down the actual batting a little bit, and that's fine, but we're trying to avoid like really taking it into the seam allowance too far. Do want our clips this direction because that's how we will be sewing. May as well go this direction. The last of the clips, because why not? So if any of my current viewers are holiday knitters, are you knitting anything for this year's holidays? I am technically working on colorwork stockings. I'm not actually working on gifts per se. I don't do a lot of Christmas knitting anymore, but I am knitting us all colorwork stockings. So I am on 2 of 4 right now, but they're really adorable. It's the patterns from Ursula Almeida. She Thinks She Can on Ravelry, and I originally started the fingering weight patterns, but these stockings have just felt kind of cursed. I don't know. The best description of them would be that they feel cursed because I ended up with like different colorwork or different dye lots for the first round that I was making in fingering weight, which holy, they were a lot of work. The one I did get finished turned out like it looked really good, except that my floats to transition between the two needles, because I was using magic loop, were horrendous, so I was not pleased with that. And then the color, like the dye lot, even though it was, so I was working with Jameson and Smith in like whatever their sweater weight is, their 2 ply, 4-ply, 2-ply, and like it was the natural colorway, so you'd expect that would be pretty close, but it was like so much more yellow. Couldn't really see it in photos, but I knew it was there, and so I was just like, well, I am going to be looking at this for however many years in the future, and every time I look at it, that's all I'm gonna see is this freaking line in the natural like colorway. So I set them down, and then the designer actually came out with worsted weight, which so much better than fingering weight as a knitter. For this sort of thing, they're about the same size as the fingering weight, like finished size, I guess would be the best description. And so I was like, okay, that's what we're going to do. I got one finished last year. I didn't. That's all that happened. Last fall season was busy. And then I started working on the second one this year. I had cast on for a certain one, and then I realized that I was knitting the color work in the wrong colors, which was absolutely devastating. So I ripped it out. It was like the highest stitch count stocking, and I decided to do a completely different pattern, and I'm actually almost done the largest color work section, which I'm super happy about. I might actually be able to finish the rest of the color work stockings this year, so fingers crossed for me that I don't lose my mind while I'm doing it, and that there's like no other mishaps. Caroline from Ancient Arts actually gifted me the yarn last year, so I know it's all the same dye lot because we double checked on that, because of course I like complained to her about the dye lot on the other stocking being off, and she agreed that yeah, like if it was going to bother me, it was not worth finishing. So anyway, so it's been a whole saga. It's like been an intense saga even. Right, there we go. Fluff up the interior and fold it down now. Let's start here. That wasn't a completely arbitrary decision to start there. I wanted to start there because it was where the seam for this interior actually is. So the current interior. It could become the exterior if you wanted, since these are reversible. Haha! Basically what we're doing now is I'm just folding it down and underneath to match as best as I can. Again, it is reversible, but so we don't want it too intrusive on either side. We just kind of like a little bit of a hint is nice. But like I don't want you being like, oh, the back is doilies and the front is checkerboard or whatever. Okay, that is a blook that needs to be shuffled in there. There we go. And this needs to actually be shuffled in a bit better too, because apparently it wasn't. There we go. That's better. And we're going to get this in and that in, and then we're going to go clippy clip right there. And then that needs to be shoved in better, because I think the batting is a little bit higher right there. That's the problem. Yep. Okay, we're actually going to just take the shears and take a little bit off right here, like that. It doesn't need to be much. Maybe 1/8 of an inch at its biggest point. But yeah, that's just going to be so much smoother to sew now. There we go. So there's 2 clipped. Yay. If you've joined me over the summer, you know that I always talk about projects, and every single project has some sort of point of tedium. And I think we just hit the point of tedium with these. It's not a bad thing, it's just that there seems to always, on every single project, there's always seems to be something that just kind of hangs up, and like it's very repetitive, and it's kind of fiddly, so it requires attention. It's integral to the project, of course, and it's just tedious. Just head down, gotta get it done. I guess we could always sew the interiors of the canvas pouches together and make sure that they're actually done, because realistically these were a throw on, and I could finish these tonight when the kids are home. That actually does sound like a smarter idea, because it's like, yes, this is the finishing step for these, but the pencil pouches will probably be more popular. I don't know. We'll finish this one, and then I think that is what we'll do. Ooh, I left enough space that I don't have to shuffle clips right away. I could just clip in between two clips. That is far too perfect. There we go. I'm still gonna shuffle that one there. And these ones are too close, so they can just be like that. And then we're gonna go here, like that. Clip, clip. And then here, like that. And here, like that. Here, like that. And then here, like that. Okay. I do think I've convinced myself we are going to swap over to the canvas pouches, because then they're done. And then these can always go under the machine like tonight and even tomorrow night before Sunday. Could I do that with the canvas pouches? 100%. But is it kind of a waste to switch task? Yes. But that's exactly what we're gonna do, because yeah, these actually need to be turned. Oh yeah, okay. And I do think that they are going to be they might be more popular. I don't know. I really don't. I've never done this show before, and I haven't had a lot of like feedback really on like what kind of show it is. But whatever. These are cute. Everything needs to be finished eventually. Pencil pouches do feel like a good gift item, although coffee cozies feel like a good gift item too. I don't know. These do need to be turned. Am I doing this just to avoid clipping? Kind of. Okay, yeah, let's finish clipping. Yeah, we'll finish clipping. Never mind. Stick to one thing, Katie. Alright. I do think that around 4 I will take off and I will have a nap, so that I am rested for this weekend, because it's going to be a couple early mornings, and like I said, even though I shifted our sleep schedule, like, it would have been 2 weeks ago this Sunday, I'm still exhausted, even though I've been going to, like, bed at a consistent time for the past 2 weeks. Well, more or less consistent time, at least. I'm just not an early morning person. I have much more energy in the evenings, typically. Well, that's a lie, too. I don't know. I'm in a shift right now. That's what we're gonna go with. As I said, I have more like energy in the evenings, but at the same time, it's like, no, I don't. Because once the kids go to bed, I'm usually exhausted as well. So I don't know what I am anymore. I used to be a night owl. Easy. And I do still operate quite well at night as well. But it's just like, it's in a shift. And for now, it does have to be shifted early, because like I mentioned earlier, we will be up super early for the runs at Disney, and we want to make sure that the kids go down to bed with like the time change and stuff like that as well. Because 7 o'clock here, so we're on Mountain Standard Time. So 7 o'clock here is like 9 o'clock out there, which means that if we're getting up at like 2 for the runs, for Dallas and I, that's only like 5 hours of sleep, which, yeah, is makes having a quick run quite a bit harder. Alright, now clip the interior to the exterior. Like this. And next week, I've got some super special stuff coming up with Ancient Arts Yarns actually in the next few weeks. So we will start teasing that in the next couple weeks. Super excited about it. It's something that we've been hatching since Japan, because of course we bought fabric together while we were there. And then, like I said, I'll be prototyping an embroidery bag that I think is going to work really well. I'm excited to see. I've been wanting to add stuff for cross stitch and embroidery for a few years. I tried something and it failed, and nobody's fault but mine. I am stuck with a lot of bags. I need to figure out what I'm doing with. I might actually just pillage them. Basically, I think probably what I'll do is I will rip them out and reuse the fabric, or just kind of cut smaller bags out of them and reuse as much as I can from them as well. Alright, that one is clipped. It's going to need a little bit of a dip there, just with how the fabric's falling. And then, as I said earlier, my first show of 2024 will be Creekside Yarn Festival in Airdrie, and I will have my usual knitting bag repertoire and hopefully some of the new stuff as well. Oh yeah, the embroidery bag, and then there's a little like cell phone sling sort of thing that I want to try out that I think will be really good for like vendors, actually, is my thought process. It'll be good for everyone, but my like main thing is I want to make something that vendors can use for like their phone and like payment terminal and stuff. So those are what are on the agenda here in the next, well, I guess 6 weeks to a month, 2 months, kind of. 6 weeks, less than 2. Yeah, it's like, I don't even know, because most of the, like, a lot of this is gonna have to be finished before we go on vacation. Alright, so there is that pinned on the exterior. Now we'll pin the interior. We're just gonna start here because why not? Felt like an easy spot. These red pandas are so precious. They're just good. Man, this sun and like fresh air combo is feeling really good. There's like a slant of sunshine right on my side, and it's just nice and comfy, cozy, warm. Love it. Just thinking about my knitting and how I'm working on the colorwork stockings, and it's kind of insane because like I haven't really felt like knitting the past few years, and it's a little bit hard when the kids are really, really young, and that's what they've been, has been really, really young. And like basically I'm a jungle gym. It's awesome. That means that they trust me, they're comfortable with me, blah blah blah, that's fine. But it also means that I do not, even if I get to sit down and they're concentrating on something else, I really don't get a lot of time to knit because I'm a jungle gym. So last few weeks that has, or last couple weeks that shifted, which is interesting and kind of sad. It's like one thing, it's like that I don't think gets communicated well enough is like if you become a parent, just how bittersweet it is, because it's like, and that's what I've struggled with the most actually, is it's like you're always like, yeah, good job, like you've got this next step and like you get to do this next thing and now you're growing big enough to do this and like communicate, and then it's also like, oh, but that means you're not my like little chunky baby anymore. And it's like so exciting and so sad at the same time. And so it's bittersweet. That's what I've decided it is, at least for me, is it's like, yeah, I want you to do the things and I'm excited and like that's amazing, and I will be a little bit sad, at least for me. I'm not sad for them, because that's not cool. Always excited for them. But we're going to move off that topic, or else apparently I'm going to begin crying. I really like this fabric. This is still one of my favorite fabrics that I've ever had. I had it in a blue when I originally got it as well, and like it's so good. Itty bitty Maiko. Kyoto Maiko. Or I guess, well, really like just Maiko, whatever. Maiko are, if you're unaware of that term, are the apprentice geisha, and geiko, so they're like training to become geisha. But they are the ones that typically have like the most elaborate obi and kimono and hairstyle and all of that. Most geisha and geiko actually end up being dressed in like black with their house insignia and stuff like that. At least from my experience of what I've seen in Japan. Just realized I'm actually going to turn the sewing machine off so that if I step on the pedal, I don't damage myself or anything that's like sitting right there. Okay. There are a bunch of ends here that don't need to be here, and I don't know why. Sure everything, like obviously I'll go back in and trim everything. That was messy and bugging me. So what I will do is, once the top stitching is done, is I'll go in with a lighter and we'll just melt down the ends. I do use a polyester thread for my sewing, unless it's I'm going to be doing bowl cozies soon. If you've been watching my stories on Instagram, I said that I would be the other day. I have not gotten more than one done, but those will be stitched completely with cotton, because that can go in the microwave. Polyester thread cannot go in the microwave. It will melt. Which for our purposes today for this cup cozy is perfect, because I can just melt the extra little end down and it makes it look nice and smooth and polished, is the big thing. Side. I don't know why, just to change it up. And there. It looks like we need one more right here, because it's kind of like bulging. There we go. And then we'll do one more here. There. Now, could I do this with pins? Yes, but I do not want to be a pin cushion, and this is where these clips come in super handy. They are so much less damaging to my hands. It's also safer with the kids around to not have like a bunch of pins out, because you know that as soon as they saw them, they would dump them on the floor. Now, that doesn't mean that I exclusively use clips. I do actually use pins still, but I would say that like 95% of my work ends up being done with clips versus pins at this point. Alright, there we go. otherwise, yeah, everything's looking pretty even. Pretty good. Sweet. Alright. Yeah, My Pleasant Company is like right in the middle. It's so good. These guys are like still some of my favorite fabric. Granted, I say that about pretty much all of my fabrics, but I'm allowed to say that because I'm the one working with it. It's fabric. I'm allowed to say that they're all my favorites. They can all be my favorites. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm glad I decided just to clip these and we'll get them finished because this is the last step and then they'll be finished. And then I can go for a nap. And then when the kids are home, we will load the truck. And I will then bring them down and they can watch their shows while I get the canvas pouches turned and stitched. I think that is the best all-around solution. I think I'll have enough time to clip and then finish these. Probably not completely finish like clipping ends and singeing down, but I'll finish the sewing on them at least. Just remembered I'm supposed to get insurance coverage for the show as well, which I probably should do. Alright. Oh, there's a few more hiding back there. Okay, never mind. Like, we're almost done. No, we're not. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 more. Alright. That can be the nice little pile right here for these ones. I love the coffee section, so it's gonna be like, so this is coffee paraphernalia on aqua, and then the interior is actually coffee paraphernalia on vanilla bean. I call it vanilla bean because it's got like little brown flecks in an off-white, and so it looks like proper vanilla bean. Trim these down just so they're out of the way. Thread here. There. Sometimes they get in the way, sometimes they don't, so it's just like case by case. Okay, now push this in. Oh, that needs to be trimmed down there because that is far too high. Yeah, there's not even, I can't even see the fabric over top of it. All right, let's trim that down. That is not gonna work for us. There we go. Pretty even actually. There's at least a little bit of fabric above it all the way around. So now we can do our fold down. Again, not a super big deal if there's a little bit extra, but it's just like having no fabric to fold over is not gonna fly. Oops, that's the wrong way. We want them this way. Turn around. Just realized I can can work a little bit further on the desk so you can actually see what I'm doing. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. There we go. Because now I don't have to reach into the bin every single time. I don't know if it actually saves time, but I feel like it does. Although the sound of like jiggling clips around all the time is very satisfying to me. Okay, there we go. So if you're following me because you're a knitter and you're like, Katie, what are you doing? You're not making bags. That's because I am doing a more generalized craft fair this weekend in Cochrane. And so I'm making some more generalized items for a more general crowd, which is something that has been a goal for the last couple of years of like trying, well, at least this year is when I've really started to focus on this goal of like, I want to broaden my audience. And so yes, that does mean that I won't be working on knitting bags all the time. But it also allows me to bring my products to a larger audience instead of such a niche market. Obviously, there's lots of knitters. But yeah, having options for everyone, or at least more options, more general options, I think is going to really help broaden my business base as well. Which means that for my knitters and crocheters and all my fiber people, I'll be around longer, which will work well. Alright, there we go. Do the little black cats here. Heads up too, if you aren't subscribed, please do. I am one away from 350 subscribers. I'm excited to break that number because when I started focusing on my YouTube channel again, it was under 250 subscribers. It was just over a year ago. And so I'm really pleased with the amount of growth that I've been able to do very organically on YouTube. And then the best way to keep up with pretty much everything, although I just realized I should probably send out an email for these events. I'm like, wait, I haven't advertised I'm going to be here this weekend. But one of the best ways to keep in, like, you'll get the sales information and stuff first is actually through my newsletter. And if you go to my Instagram, it's like the link is to my website, and then newsletter is like right at the top pretty much to sign up. And that'll get you information for like the sale coming up for Black Friday through Cyber Monday, and if I do like an edited video, that's where I send out the link for YouTube on there, all that sort of stuff. And because we're all at the mercy of the algorithm, having a newsletter and like being subscribed to the newsletter is the most consistent way to be able to find out from your favorite creators what they're doing. Typically, if they have a newsletter list. Now, right now, I am doing a lot of live streaming instead of like polished videos, simply because that is what I have the mental capacity for. Seems to work really well for the format. Obviously, I've gained quite a few subscribers, so I'm not complaining. But I do have some footage from the days where like the kids are home and I'm still working downstairs and all of that. So that'll be posted here soon. Well, I say soon. That will be posted eventually. Video editing is not like my strong suit. I do it. I kind of do it kicking and screaming, maybe. I don't know. It's not top priority, because it's kind of like, well, if I'm video editing, I'm not making. If I'm not making, there's not new product in the shop. So it's like that catch-22, right? You gotta market yourself, but if you're doing anything else as a small business owner, you're not making what you could be selling, basically. So, all right, we're down to 10. But yeah, that's definitely one of the things I really like about the live stream, is that I'm able to live stream and put out video content while also basically chatting like I was at work in an office, which is kind of nice. whole little group here of cup cozies that are already done. If you join me and you don't know what I'm doing, I am making reversible cup cozies, like coffee cup cozies, to-go cup cozies. They'll flip in and out. And they are machine washable because they all are made from quilt cottons and batting. Dallas keeps texting me. Let me just see what he's chatting about. Oh, no. This is Caroline. All right. Okay, I do need to respond to that. There we go. Not that I don't need to respond to Dallas, but that was a business question. Okay, let's get this turned down here. And this. Clip. Go. Sweet. Alright, let's get this folded over. Is that? Okay. Eek. Don't drop the clip in, Katie. It's a sitting on my lap and it just spilled everywhere. Alright. Back to the clipping. We're just sorting out details for stuff. So, those were. I just gotta watch for any more texts coming in. Alright. Clip, clip, clip. There we go. And then this one needs to be just kind of shimmied to hold that a bit. No, we need two. That's what's happening. More clips. Sweet. And one more there too. Or somewhere in there. In between these two. There we go. Just kind of fluff this out here. And then fold it down. And in. There. Okay. Well, these may not get sewn before I leave, but they will all be prepped and ready. Actually, so that's what we're going to do for the rest of it today, at least on this stream, is I will prep everything to finish when I get home. I think that's going to be the best balance. I know I keep changing my mind about what we're doing, but that is actually a good way to do it, is like finish everything. So that means like, get it all prepped to finish, and then I can just go through and finish everything once I get the kiddos home and after we get the truck packed. Because I can, it's less of a switch really, and it's less mental switch as well. There we go. Also have to make sure that there's clean clothes for the kids. Friday is a little bit of like a chore catch-up day because they aren't here, so it's always trying to balance both, like making sure work is done and getting like some of the chores done. So making sure that they're clothed for the weekend is quite important. Making sure I'm clothed for the weekend, which is a good point. Actually, I need to wash my jeans tonight, probably. We're still doing pretty good. Where did it go? The batting, like some. Okay, there we go. It just lifted and it's like there's no batting. We need batting here. Oh, that's because it's technically supposed to be against the blue side. Oh well. We're doing it with the pink side. That's alright. As long as it's placed in there, we're good. Alright, there we go. Now we'll pull out and fluff up and fold under the blue here, like this. Go. In there. I know you're a seam and you like to be popped out, but you need to be in there. There we go. More texts. And hey, it looks like we broke 350 subscribers. So thank you so much. That's super exciting. This one I'm kind of laughing because it's ice pops for coffees. I guess you could use them for the cold coffees too, because like having too cold a coffee against your hand is also unpleasant. I'm just thinking about the hot coffees because that's what we're like it's November. And yes, in Canada, if you don't eat ice cream all year round, you will end up more than likely not eating ice cream because it's like it can be cold all year round. But typically I'm not thinking of iced coffee in the wintertime. Unless we're in some sort of sunny destination, which we don't do very often. In fact, we have only really done a sun vacation once, which we are going to rectify eventually. Well, obviously going down and running Disney in January is going to be the start of that, because both Dallas and I are starting to really struggle with winter and just like cold and dark. And yeah, like Florida gets dark at like 6, but like at least it's warm. Basically my condition is like I don't need to go to a beach or anything like that, but I do need somewhere where we don't need to go put on a bajillion layers just to step out the front door. And then when you get into wherever you're going, take off a bajillion layers as well, especially with the kids, because you put a bajillion layers on them to go outside, and then like 2 minutes later they're like a cat. It's like, nope, I'm done, let's go back inside. That should be better this year, but it's just like, oh, frustrating. Okay, here we go. We're down to, this is 7 of 7 left. And then we will get the canvas pencil pouches and we will turn all of them, hopefully, before I need to head out. And then we'll be ready to just zip these under the sewing machine when I get back. I will record that separately and it'll be posted as a separate video. Then what else do I need to do? I need to pack the truck and I need to pack the actual like products. That would also be useful, so I'll need to sort that out tonight as well. I keep thinking that I'm just like today is Thursday, which is not right. It is Friday. And that like setup is tomorrow, so that means that my show is the next day, because I'm used to like setting up the day before, but no, the show is tomorrow as well. So I gotta remember that I gotta pack the products because I gotta sell the products the same day that I set up, and that's fine. It's just I don't know, I am not in a show headset mindset right now. I guess I don't know what's up. It doesn't really matter. It has to happen no matter what. I'll get there. Okay. 6 of 6 is this little pile right here. And then we'll do the canvas pouches. You're all crooked. What's up with you? There we go. Canadian, so we don't do American Thanksgiving, but we do what we call Friendsgiving. And this year we've done turkeys in the past, and it's too much work. So we're gonna do an appetizer night. So potluck appetizers. Everybody brings an appetizer, and then we just hang out, and it'll be nice and relaxed. It's what Dallas's family does for Christmas Eve. It's like one of my favorite things about Christmas. But yeah, so that's going to be next weekend. That's part of why I want to also decorate on Monday, because I want to have the house decorated for Friendsgiving. What was I going to say in conjunction with that? I don't remember. But yeah, if you have any like favorite appetizers, and it can be dessert or something like that, like food item to share, I would love to hear it. You can shout it out in the comments, like the chat below, or like if you're watching this later. Next weekend being the Black Friday weekend, so 24th forward. Let me know. I always appreciate seeing new recipes, and we like to take new. So I always have my family like recipe is a cheese ball that I make every year, but I like adding something else to it as well. So I typically do take dessert. But yeah, I'd love to hear recipes because I like trying new stuff out as well. And the cheese ball is pretty straightforward and easy to make at this point. It's not like it's effort, but it's not as stimulating as doing a new recipe. Last year I did the Ash Baber tiramisu brownies, which were so good. I think that's the dessert I'm going to make for next weekend, which will be delicious. Highly recommend. They are a TikTok recipe, but that's okay. They're posted actually on a website as well, and that's what I follow because it's just easier for me than having to like constantly pause a video to do a recipe. And sometimes I do store-bought. It depends. Like, I have bought cakes, like the strawberry shortcake sort of thing, or strawberry cake from Wow Bakery. I've done the chocolate millefeuille, so like crepe cake. A few years ago, that was delicious. It's ridiculous because I'm diabetic, but I have such a sweet tooth. So Christmas Eve is like my opportunity to try out desserts that I can't justify making for myself. As the kids get older, it'll be easier though too. So but yeah, I'm excited for Friendsgiving nappies. Or if you have a recipe and you want to email it to me, or actually Instagram DM is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Yeah, just you can shout it out there, and I appreciate it. Oh man, this is adorable. So I lined the geisha print, the geiko print, with Sweets Party. So that's what it's going to be on the interior of the geisha cozies. They did not line up perfectly, but it's a curved cut, so it would be a little bit difficult to do that. And again, because we're kind of scrap busting, I did not fussy cut any. Well, I did where I could, sort of thing. So like the My Pleasant Company cats, basically I shifted the template back and forth to be able to get what I wanted, which worked out. But in a lot of cases, it was just like, let's get as many of these as we can out of a certain cut without being too fussy about it. So I'm very happy with this one, that there's like one of the big panels of lace in the middle there, which is really nice. Sunshine. Okay, so I'm gonna clip the interior. Like this. All the way around. There we go. Okay, and then that just needs to be finessed a little bit because it's a little bit high. We want them lined up so that they're not, like I said, intrusive on either side, especially when it's such a light print and then the interior is such a dark print. A little bit easier on the eyeballs. I guess I should actually test these out. 1 second. I'm like, are they actually going to fit? Yeah, we're good. Okay, sweet. Eek. Get through clipping all these and then none of them fit cups. That would not be good. That would have been useless. I'm gonna have coffee cup cozies, but they won't fit a coffee cup. I do know one of them didn't fit, actually. I had too large a seam allowance when I was connecting them to begin with. So I did have to adjust it. So I'm glad I just double checked that, because that would suck. Am I gonna check all of them? No, because honestly my sewing was consistent enough across them that it shouldn't matter. But it's good to at least quality control check one to make sure. Should have done it earlier, but oh well, you know. I did it before I completely committed. Because it's also kind of like at the point right now, it's like, well, what are you going to do? If it didn't fit, none of these would be going tomorrow, because they would need to be like, the top stitch would have to be pulled out, and the like interior stitch, and then you would have to like take out the, if they didn't fit, it would be the connector stitch So you'd have to like completely disassemble it to resolve that. And so yeah, if they hadn't to fit, that would be the end of it. Alright, here we go. Now I'm going to put this out like this and around. Okay. Start by folding here. So most of the time I do try to keep the themes the same, so like cat fabrics to cat fabrics or whatever. Obviously the Myco to sweets are not exactly the most linear path, especially since they're French sweets. But when you think of a tea ceremony, it's kind of a sweets party, so it's just cute and nice and delicate too. Like both fabrics are nice and delicate, so that's why they kind of match them up. This one kind of got matched up because the blue just looked really good together with this like dusty aqua, but it is dogs and owls. But it's like, well, some people like dogs and owls, so why not, right? And who doesn't like owls? Alright. 2 more to clip, and then we can go into turning the canvas pouches. I did realize with the canvas pencil pouches that I was going to do the canvas as the accent piece and not the like main piece, but they still look amazing, and the next batch will be the correct way. It's not really incorrect, it's just not the way I intended. So there we go. The next batch will be the intended way that I want to construct them. I don't know why I blanked on it when I was cutting them. It's just like completely like zoom. I'm gonna blame that on just having tired brain. Let's go with that. It has been, thank you so much. It has been an amazingly busy year. I know a lot of small businesses are suffering, but this has been my second best year of business ever, and I really appreciate it. I am extremely close to it actually being my best year of business ever, revenue wise. Now obviously there's quite a lot of expenses going to Japan this year and all of that, like that's, we're not going to talk about that. Just like we don't talk about Bruno, right? But I really appreciate the fact that it has been the second best year of revenue ever. Like that just means a lot to me. So let's see if we can make it the best year of revenue I've had. That would be amazing, actually. And I don't know what changed, but I will take it. I've definitely put a lot more energy and a lot more like, it may sound kind of hoodoo, or not, like, I don't know, but a lot more manifesting and like a lot more energy into the actual business, which is not going to hurt. Never hurts. So there may have also been some shrine prayers while I was in Japan, being like, hey, I want to come back more often. And if I need to buy fabric more often, I can come back more often and make more offerings at the shrine. So help me out. I love the casuality of like, I know that there's a lot in Shintoism, but the casuality of the praying and like how it is very much for yourself sort of thing typically. So that's always really, I enjoy it. It will actually be one of the hikes we do next time because I think the kids will enjoy it. Well, whatever, doesn't matter, really. We still gotta go to Fushimi Inari, so. But I do think we'll be hiking to the top, which will be good. Because I haven't done that in a while, actually. Because it's not an easy hike. It's like a 200-meter elevation gain, and I don't know how many kilometers it is. We're done clipping all the little things. They're all little crowns now, so they're ready for their next, like their closing top stitch seam. Pop those back there, and now we gotta do this pile of stuff. Ugh. Alright, so what I mean when I said that, like, so right now the Japanese fabric is the accent piece, whereas the canvas is taking up a lot more room. Next time it'll be flipped so that, well, in some cases, not in all cases, because honestly, this is a smaller cut, so it's easier to find fabric that fits it. So that's probably going to be a pretty good mix. This whole batch, though, has the canvas as the main piece, whereas the intention of it was to have the Japanese fabric as the main fabric, not the accent fabric. Although realistically, they look amazing either way, so I'm not going to complain. And then if you are a knitter and you have been looking for needle stashers, I have ordered the plastic snaps that I'm going to start using. The snaps are, I have been using metal snaps for the longest time because I prefer using metal, blah blah blah, but I installed plastic snaps on a needle stasher like a couple months ago now, and it came out nicer and it was a sturdier finish, so I am switching them to plastic versus the metal snaps. I think it'll be a good move for just ease of application. I got what I needed for my press, so we can just press them in. Honestly, I was messing up so many metal snaps as it was that it was an absolute waste, so we're gonna go plastic and probably not look back, because as long as they're closing, that's what I care about. And the plastic's not gonna break off fast either. I'm gonna be using cam snaps, which are like top of the line. It's what's usually installed into cloth diapers and stuff like that, and so they don't move very fast. They typically like stay pretty good. We cloth diapered for the first few, like almost 3 years. So those snaps are heavy duty, let me tell you. I got reminded because there's some needle stashers down here to like finish up, so. Alright, there we go. I just realized I should be doing that. We will turn this a little bit, because honestly these are going to be easier to turn closer to me rather than further away. Are you getting 2 views of the same thing? Pretty much. But that's what you're here for, right? To look at my face and to like look at the gorgeous products. Like this one. I gotta remember how to turn my bags. Yeah, that just turned out so well. And then all of these are lined in black as well, because it's a lighter canvas. I didn't know what I was going to do with, and so I was like, well, waste not, want not. We're going to put it in these bags. It is supposed to be lined in canvas anyway, so it actually worked out perfect. And then there's some more of this black cat with temari. So the temari are decorative, like these decorative balls here, like ornaments. And temari are really cool. I found out, I don't know how I stumbled on it, but I did. Like someone I follow on Instagram was talking about how they were starting to make temari. Anyway, they're a ball, and how they originated is when you wash kimono, you're supposed to take them completely apart and wash, like, because kimono are basically long rectangular panels. And you're supposed to take it completely apart and then wash the panels, right? Because moving water and all of that has to, I think if it's moving water, it doesn't like damage the silk as much and stuff like that. And like just running water in general is going to clean your clothes better because you're not washing it in dirty water. Anyway, that's my assumption. I don't know the science behind it. But when they took the kimono apart, they would take the thread and they would make these decorative temari from them. And that, yeah. So anyway, every time I see the Tamari with black cats, I think of that story, which is pretty cool. This Alice fabric worked out amazing for these bags. So in this case with these guys, these were not, again, not particularly fussy cut. These are actually a lot of these, and why they are the accent piece instead of the larger piece is this was another one that I was able to make from the like swoop cut from the knot bag. But in this case, the Alice actually got placed really well, and I'm very pleased because that was completely accidental. So there's an Alice here, and there's actually a second Alice head up here at least as well. And so I'm pretty pleased with how that just accidentally all came together. Alright, we're getting there. Got about an hour. And there's these pups. So yeah, so there's definitely going to be a mix of them because it's kind of like, well, if I'm thinking about that, if I'm using up the knot bag scraps, yeah, it makes sense to just do them as the accent piece. And then the larger ones, we'll do some that have like the fabric, the Japanese fabric be not the accent piece. They'll be where the canvas piece is instead. Just to change it up, you know. It's all scrap busting, and that's what we're here for right now. Oh my goodness, that though with the canvas looks so good. I'm not a dog person, and that looks so good. Love it. Hedgies here. Again, some of these are like OG fabrics. So these hedgies, I've like been working with this fabric in various configurations. Obviously, I'm down to scraps of it since 2016. So March 2016, because I would have bought it our first trip to Japan. I think I might have stocked up on this colorway again in November of 2016, but then it was gone. So it's been around for a while. Like I said, if you've been following for a while, you will probably recognize a lot of these fabrics because, yeah, that's what we do here. We work through our stash. Alright. I'm excited to get these linings sewn in because the top stitching on them is done a little bit different, and I want to make sure that it will actually work overall. And then if not, I can swap it out on the next batch as well. Ooh. This canvas is eating my hands. 1 second. It's like grating and actually giving me some hangnails. Lovely. Put some cream on quick, and then we'll finish up the turning. Exterior windows need a wash. I'm looking at them and they've been definitely rain soaked. By the way, this is steam cream from Japan. A friend gifted it to me. Takako from Adelknit. Adelknit is in Osaka. And I love it. It's a really light cream that soaks in really well. Like, there's a little bit of residue right now. But considering that I just put it on, like it's not going to affect my ability to work right now. You can see it, that there's a little bit of shine maybe. But it soaks in really nice, and it's just like a really nice cream. Alright, so here's our cats. These guys have a shiny cat on both sides, and instead of being like highlighted in gold, it's actually highlighted in silver, which is really cool. Most of the time, the like shimmer highlights in the Japanese fabrics are gold. So this is really good. I'll grab actually a few things. I don't have one finished obviously right now because I'm just turning them. But like, here's my big tailor shears. Easy. They fit in there so well. Like there's a cap. 6-inch ruler. Air erasing pen. Screwdriver. Because I have a screwdriver because I need to change the needles on this thing. A double-ended stiletto seam ripper. This is from Danware out of Calgary. It fits in there. Like, and there's still a ton of room. So like this is a really good size for a lot of stuff. Just for an example of like what you can use it for. You could use it for like, it would be really good for like a quilting or like sewing retreat. Put your like rotary cutter and a bunch of other stuff in here. Not a lot of squares and rulers and stuff like that. Obviously the 1x6 fit in here gorgeous, but like I'm thinking like the bigger ones you wouldn't be able to, but it would be a good catch for like a lot of other smaller stuff, which would be awesome. DPNs, the double pointed needles for my knitters, crochet hooks for my crocheters, just like amped up notions pouch. It's quite large, that's the thing. Students for pencils. I really wish I had finished these for back to school. That would have been a good time to have these released, but you know, next year, right? This is cute. Again, it's not super fussy cut, but it is a very nice, just like bright, colorful fairy tales fabric. So yeah, that's what I kind of mean about trying to broaden my audience a little bit. Is like these are still really good for knitters and crocheters and my fiber artist friends, but they are also more obviously usable to the general public as well. I think that's the big thing. Alright, we're gonna pop up these corners here. Could actually use my corner pusher tool probably, but whatever. Just basically would mean that my fingers wouldn't get eaten as much, but honestly I don't see it, so we'll just keep cranking along. This is another one of those OG fabrics. Owls. This one actually turned out really nice because there's an owl on this side and then there's another owl on this side, along with this like tree silhouette owl, which is super cool. Turn this one. Actually, I just realized I am going to need to find a new supplier for my tags. So I do sew in like satin tags. And the supplier that I would get them from in Quebec just closed. Zero warning. Like, I recommended them to someone and they went, yeah, they actually closed down. Their website says they're down. I'm like, what? Because they didn't give us any warning at all. I would have ordered another like roll or two if I had known, to be honest. So yeah, I guess a little bit of a tag redesign was in the work. I need something a little bit different anyway, but I'm just like, all right. So now we need to find a new supplier. This happened like last year. I've had a good supply for a while, but I just realized I probably need to start looking now so that I have my tag maker ready when I actually need new tags. They were just such good ones, and it was nice to have a Canadian supplier because it's like, and I didn't have to worry about what the exchange rate was doing as much. Obviously, that still affects us a little bit even with Canadian suppliers, but nowhere near as bad as like ordering from like an Etsy shop in the States or something like that, where it fluctuates daily pretty much. Hedgehogs. These guys are adorable. Super cute. Also those mushrooms. I actually saw a bunch of like mushroom ornaments when I was in Walmart the other day, which was super interesting. So, just so you know, we got more mushroom prints. Actually, that was one of the things about art market yesterday. I just really remembered there was actually a potter there that had a bunch of mushroom mugs, which is super cool. They looked really good. But there was a lot of potters this year, which, like, you see that quite a bit. But, like, it was a remarkable amount, obviously. Because that was my impression. Potters and a lot of glass workers, which is really interesting as well. And, of course, artists and textile people and stuff like that. But, yeah, that sort of shift is interesting. Because I don't feel like pottery and, like, glass blowing are necessarily... like, I don't know. The skill set for them is different for sure, I guess. And I was gonna say it's not exactly cheap to get into, but I was also like, it's not exactly cheap to get into sewing necessarily if you're working with like industrial machines and stuff like that as well. And I guess maybe with like glass blowing and things like that, you might have like access to maybe like more like a public studio or something like that. I don't know how it works. They did say that they are offering classes, which is really cool. One of the glass blowers that caught our attention especially. So that might be something that I look into in the new year, just to try out something new. Because why not? I don't need a new hobby. But trying out new things is always good, so. I always love watching like short videos of people making stuff and blowing glass and stuff like that. There's one that I follow from Italy that's Silcom something, and the stuff they post is gorgeous. They're Silcom lighting, so they do like chandelier and like light fixture glass blowing, which is super cool. And just seeing how they do it is always fascinating. Bunnies with things on their head. Actually, that bunny is like perfectly placed here on this side. And then we got the stacked cats on the other side, more or less. Along with the apple cat. Apparently I'm in the way today. And another almost full bunny as well. Sweet. Alright. We're getting there. I can see the bottom of the pile pretty much. I think we've got 5 or 6 left to turn. And then I will head out because it's almost kiddo time. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Called it. Oh my goodness. Alright. This one's just nice and simple. It's cacti. I did decide just to like pair all of these up with the black canvas, mostly because it's what I had out, partly because it's like I'm coming down to the dregs of it on the one roll, so honestly the smaller projects are probably better anyway. But it actually worked out really well because it's like such a nice stark contrast. I usually go a little bit softer, and like with this I would normally go with the charcoal, but honestly I am really enjoying the black as the contrast with these guys. Obviously I need to finish the interior. That's going to help just snug everything up so the lining isn't quite so like bleh, baggy, because that's what it is right now, is it's just baggy. But that'll get fixed in the next step as we finish them. So alright, just about there. Out here, that. There's going to need to be some end trimming. Still on my audiobooks, obviously. I just finished What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and I still don't know what to think of it. It's one of those situations where it's like it came highly recommended. I'm like, okay, let's give it a try, and I don't know why I finished it, to be honest. I'm like, like, what is going on? And the worst part of it is I thought it was like a one-off book, and I found out that's actually part of a series now. And I'm like, the way it ended, I want to like finish the series, but I don't know if I can sit through another book with these characters. Or at least the main female lead character. It drove me nuts in it. So I don't know if I'll do it or not. I did finish it. I would not recommend it. I am currently listening to Iron Flame. Do not give me any spoilers if you have finished it. I will finish it very rapidly here, probably next week. But I have not finished it yet. So I'm only about, I think I'm less than 4 hours in right now. So that's going to be the bedtime listen while the kiddos go to sleep. For me, in my earbuds. What else have I listened to recently, though? I did finish listening to The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have had a physical copy of the book for a while, and I never got to it. So I was like, okay, let's just listen to it that way. And then that way I actually do finish it. And I really enjoyed that one. So I need to actually listen to more V.E. Schwab, because based on that one, I think they're going to be a very good writer for their career for sure. Right. This is 3 of 3. There we go. This is Hedgies pretending to be cacti. Friggin' adorable. Took me a while to figure out that the hedgehogs were pretending to be cacti, and then it delights me every time I see it now. Because, like, it's pretty subtle. I thought they were just hanging out with cactuses or cacti for a while, and then I realized that no, they climbed into the pot and, like, were actually trying to look like cacti. So, you know. Right, then this is going to be the bubble sheep with the glasses, the cool sheep. And then I don't know what the last one is. I can't tell what it is. Oh, it looks like it might be the red pandas. Oh my goodness. Okay. Come on, sheep. Turn out. Turn out. You're almost there. There's Fabric Fluff Lion. Alrighty, there we go. There's the cool sheep. I call them bubble sheep because they look like they've got bubbles for their coats, but then they're kind of like cool bubble sheep because of this dude in the sunglasses. Last one to turn, at least. And then I'll have to, actually what we'll do next is we will figure out what is fully cotton and then what has a cotton linen accent, and we'll use the cotton linen tags for the cotton linen accents. It's really tempting to put the leather tags on these, but then they wouldn't be washable. Just because there's so much black. It would help break it up, actually. But we won't do that on this batch, at least. Maybe in the future. Alright, so we got cotton. Because, yeah, it's 420. Okay. Cotton, 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 cotton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one might be finished. That would be good if it was. Okay, so there's 5 right here. 5, and 6. Okay, so we've got 16 cotton. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cotton linen blends. So we may as well trim those or cut those tags while I'm here. Oh. Okay, so 16 cotton and 6 cotton linen blends. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry if you're a knitter and counting right now. 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. Could I just go through and cut this whole roll? 100%, but then I would lose them. I don't know why. As soon as I cut them, they disappear into the abyss, never to be seen again. So, that's not what we're doing. I cut them during each whatever I'm doing. Although I guess I could really cut them and put them in like a Ziploc or in a bin in here, but whatever. Maybe eventually. Since I'm having to change up whatever I'm doing for tags anyway, I'm not going to commit to anything until I figure out what I'm doing for my new tags. I honestly think it should just be the cat with like info on the back maybe now. Or maybe like, well, I still want the like care instructions because those are important, but I don't know. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 cotton linens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was short one. Curses. Okay, come here. 6. Sweet. Oh no. And this one. This is a cotton. It might be finished though. Are you finished? You're not. Okay. So we need one more cotton as well. Because it was hiding there. And hide those scissors from the kids. And then prep these guys. Alright. I am going to head out because I have just enough time to go have like a 15-minute nap, which will set me up better for the weekend. I hope you enjoyed today. I really appreciate everyone who joined me. I will be coming back on probably not next week. Definitely in 2 weeks, though. I'll come back on and we'll work on some other stuff together. I will not be doing evening streams just because we're going to bed so early and getting up so early. But I will figure out a time next weekend where I could stream maybe a little bit more, maybe on the Sunday or something like that. Best way to find out about what my live stream schedule is to follow me on Instagram. I always post the link there with a 5 to 10 minute heads up that I'm going to be online. But yeah, so that's just the easiest way to find out. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a fantastic evening, and I will chat with you all again soon. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can throw them in the comment section or DM me on Instagram. Those are usually the 2 fastest ways to get a hold of me, and I'll chat with you all soon. Thanks so much. Bye.